Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at our favorite video of the day, player props ahead of this Friday night slate here in the NBA tonight, y'all. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page, as we've got a couple other videos up for you today. And we are about to give you a gift card prop opportunity for you to win. So make sure you are liked and subscribed to be eligible to jump in the comments and give that to us. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight with these player props. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, our player props tonight are not exactly your household names. We are going with the gritty point guard episode, starting with Marcus Smart, the grittiest himself, as the Celtics host the Warriors. He always seems to come to play in this matchup, has really played a big role in them winning 5 straight over the Warriors with his defense on Steph Curry. And just everything to me, you look at Jason Tatum lighting it up over the last few games. You look at Steph Curry and all the fanfare he brings to this matchup. Everything about this game to me speaks ugly, though. And the fact that the Warriors have gone under in 10 of their last 11 on the road. And if it's an ugly game, Marcus Smart will thrive. He's only sitting at 9.5 rebounds and assists for the combined prop there. It was even money. It's been getting some action at FanDuel, so now it's up. That would be my preferred bet. I mean, with Smart, you don't necessarily want to add the points in there because he can have a shooting dud like he did the last time out against Milwaukee, just 2 points, but he drops 11 assists over 30 minutes, usually a pretty solid rebounder. He's averaging 12 points, 4 boards, 7.2 assists. Over the Celtics' last 8 home games, and Boston is 7-1 in those games. And he's averaging 14.5, 4 rebounds, and 4.5 assists in those 5 games against Golden State. Better shooting splits at home, but really, again, it's about the peripheral stats. And for me, it's about Marcus Smart just getting up for this matchup and diving all over the place, getting those hustle stats and finding a way to produce when his shot isn't necessarily falling.
Yeah, no, if we're going to have a show with 4 props, all of which are gritty point guards, let's start with, as you said, if not the grittiest, one of the 2 or 3 grittiest of those, Marcus Smart. And yeah, I'm recalling, I have like visions all the time when the Warriors played the Celtics back to that 2016 season when they won those 73 games and they actually had about a 28 game win streak going, and then, had to play the Celtics at home after a tough game against the Bulls recently. And ever since then, I've just been like, wow, Marcus Smart just impressed that game. I think he had like 5 threes. He just brings it against the Dub. So I totally feel that pick based on that.
Avery Bradley too back then, I think. It was like double trouble with backcourt.
Yeah, exactly. If ever there was a backcourt that could stop the best shooters of all time. But you know what? Before we even get to my next prop, which is going to be Monte Morris on the Denver Nuggets, I think we should just jump in, make the prop here up, about a point guard that we all know and love, rather than taking these gritty backups here and making that the player prop. So the player prop for today's game for you guys tonight, in order to be able to win this, you do need to be liked and subscribed to the page. Then jump in the comments and let us know about Dame Lillard, who we have prized high tonight, and what we think he's going to do against the Charlotte Hornets, who are the worst defensive team in the league. We got another video up about that game where we talk about Dame in there, so make sure you check that out, and then let us know what you think his points plus 3-pointers made will be tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. So giving that example, if he scores 30 and makes 5 threes, that is a total of 35. To get that correct, as many people as guess it correct will win that gift card tonight. So jump in those comments. Let us know what you think. Just wanted to pause to give that. And now I'll move on to Monte Morris, who I also like tonight. His props are much lower than Dame's because he's not Dame Lillard, but they're very juicy for us tonight, I think, when you look at his points and or points plus assists and what he's been doing in his last 10 or so. As you know, the Nuggets have turned things around decently. We all know it's because Nikola Jokic is an all-world basketball player. But Monte Morris has been doing his part. His minutes have been up. He's averaging about 32 a game on about a 20% usage rate. He's averaging 15.5 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. Actually, reverse that. Sorry, 5 assists and 3 boards on really good splits: 52.5, 43.5 from 3, and then 80% from the line. He's been the second leading scorer on the Nugs in that time frame. He's averaging about 2.5 3-pointers made as well. And they're playing the Hawks tonight, and the Hawks are a very good team in a lot of ways, but it's not in terms of their defense on point guards, as Trae Young is their starting point guard, and his individual defensive rating is about 112. We know he's just a small dude that's not really going to be able to hang with with many guys on defense. And Atlanta gives up the most assists and fifth most points to opposing point guards in the league. So I think, you look at Monte getting his minutes and playing against a guy like Trae Young. I think you have to feel good about him getting points and assists if you like it as well.
Yeah, and Trae's defensive rating is up to 115.5 in his last 10 games. The Hawks have not been consistent at home. In fact, lost 4 straight home games. So there's a lot to like about the Denver offense here coming in to Atlanta, and they just don't have many guys around Jokic. But the way Morris plays off Jokic is pretty much what they look for in terms of those dribble handoffs and the popping off screens. And so I think, he will have good usage tonight in this high profile matchup. The most obscure guy that we're going to mention today, and his name is Gabe Vincent. He's playing for the Miami Heat out of necessity, playing at least 30 minutes in 3 straight games. And if Tyler Hero is ruled out, I think you can feel pretty good about his props tonight. Even money to get over 13.5 points, or slight minus odds to get over 18.5 points in assists. He's coming off a career-high 26-point outburst with 7 triples on a 31% usage rate to down those Sixers. That was just kind of an outlier spike performance, if you will. But I think it's closer to what we would expect than the 18 points and 12 assists he produced over 2 games against 2 of the better defenses in the East, Chicago and Cleveland. Now he faces a Magic team that is giving up a league-high 44% shooting from 3 in their last 3 games, just not really competing against anyone, and has a laundry list of injuries, including key ones in the backcourt. Cole Anthony, ankle injury, and Gary Harris, their best defender, has a hamstring injury. Both could be out tonight. Miami, again, no Hero, possibly. We know there's not going to be any Cody Martin, no Jimmy Butler, no Bam Adebayo, obviously. And it's rest time, I feel, for Miami with 2 of their next 3 against Detroit. That means giving guys like Gabe Vincent room to try and pull out wins against these bottom feeders. And I think that means Tyler Hero will continue to rest what's ailing him, because the Heat have been pulling it off without him. And I think they can probably cover this 5-point spread if Cole Anthony's out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the spread there, Orlando's going to be struggling to score big time tonight. Miami's not going to have its offensive weapons as well, especially if Hero sits. But Gabe Vincent, is a guy he's proven even last year in random spots that he can come in, make shots, and he's not afraid to pull it. 13.5 points with better than even money on FanDuel feels great in a matchup that it's going to be a weird, ugly one tonight in Florida. And Miami's going to be relying on guys like Gabe Vincent, Dwayne Dedmon, other backups that they need to, as they continue to play pretty well, actually. So I think they'll continue to play above their pay grade, and Gabe Vincent's a good pick for tonight for sure. And then finishing out our obscure point guard player props video, easy for me to say. Let's go with probably the grittiest. I think we got to give Pat Bev the nod over the grittiest, sort of muckiest player in the NBA over Marcus Smart here, to be honest. So fitting that we rounded out with him, but he's been playing really well since he missed a bunch of games. He missed about 8 to 10 games there, and he came back 4 games ago. Where since that time, he's been playing very well, right? He's averaging about 11 points and 5 assists, 3 boards in those 4. So I'm looking at his either points at 14.5 or 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists combined. I'm sorry, his 14.5 points, assists combined. It's not just points. So that's good. I really like that. But if you want to add the 4 rebounds to the points, rebounds, and assists as well, just give yourself a little bit more flexibility. I think that feels fine as well. But the points and assists, what I'm looking at tonight, they're playing the Lakers. Pat Bev, we know he's always going to get up for a game against a team like the Lakers. And in his previous meeting, actually, when he played Westbrook, who was on Washington at the time, but, he was going up against Russ Westbrook. He had 17 points and 3 boards in that game. So I think he's proven that when it comes to playing another sort of gritty, athletic guy, like Russ, he's going to bring it as well. And the Lakers, they just don't play well against opposing point guards, which is not surprising considering that they don't have much defense at the very top of their defense. And they give up the 4th most assists per game in general. And then to point guards specifically, they give up the 4th most points and 5th most assists to opposing point guards, which bodes well for Pat Bev. I think he's going to be, on one tonight, as he always is, but especially against the Lakers, and just playing really, really well, like I said, since he came back from injury, getting a good amount of minutes there too.
Yeah, it's the minutes to me, because, he had those 17 points last year against the Wiz. He played just 26 minutes as a starter. Wasn't really healthy last year much, but when he gets 36 minutes this year, the averages per 36 are 12 points, 6.5 assists. That's a career high, and 5.6 rebounds. So you could certainly project him for well over his props there if he's going to play a healthy dose of minutes. And I think as the best option to guard Russell Westbrook, we should see him north of 30 minutes tonight, which is why that makes that such a good bet.
Yeah, 100%. And D'Lo is not really passing the ball these days, averaging actually lower assist totals than normal. He's just pulling, which helps Pat Bev sort of insert into that true point guard spot. So that is all the time we have for today. Although we didn't talk about Dame Lillard specifically in this one, make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page so you can let us know the player prop total we have for Dame tonight, his points plus 3-pointers made. We'll get that gift card out to whoever guesses that correct. Till we see you next, y'all. Happy betting.